The wind howled through the empty streets of a forgotten town in northern Montana. Snow covered the roads like a white graveyard blanket, and every porch light had already gone dark. Except one. At the end of Willow Creek Road stood house number 47. And every single person in town feared the old woman who lived inside. Some said she was cursed. Others whispered that people who entered her house were never seen the same again. But nobody knew the truth. Until one stormy night when a desperate teenage boy knocked on her door. And what happened after that shocked the entire town forever. Ethan Parker was 17 years old, broke, exhausted, and completely alone. His father had died in a mining accident 2 years earlier. His mother worked double shifts at a diner just to keep food on the table. Life in the tiny town of Black Hollow wasn't easy, especially during winter. That night, Ethan was delivering groceries for extra cash when his rusty truck suddenly died near Willow Creek Road. His phone had no signal. Snowstorm, pitch black darkness, and only one house nearby. House number 47. Ethan stared at the glowing window in the distance. His stomach tightened. Don't go there, people always warned. The old woman is insane. She talks to dead people. She keeps secrets in that house. But freezing to death outside wasn't exactly a better option. So Ethan grabbed his coat, stepped through the heavy snow and walked toward the house. The porch creaked beneath his boots. Before he could knock, the door slowly opened by itself. An old woman stood there. Thin, gray hair tied in a loose bun. Sharp blue eyes that looked almost unnatural. "You're late," she said softly. Ethan froze. "Excuse me. I've been waiting for you." A cold chill crawled down his spine. "How do you know me?" The woman stepped aside. "Come inside before the storm kills you." Ethan hesitated for 3 long seconds. Then he entered. The inside of the house smelled like old books and burning wood. Strange clocks ticked on every wall. Hundreds of framed photographs covered the hallway. And every photo showed strangers. Young people. Old people. Families. Soldiers. Children. All staring directly into the camera with empty expressions. "You live here alone?" Ethan asked nervously. The woman closed the door. "Yes." Silence filled the room. Thunder shook the windows. "I'm Ethan," he finally said. "I know." Again that strange answer. The woman pointed toward the fireplace. "Sit." Ethan obeyed. She handed him hot soup without asking what he wanted. Oddly, it tasted exactly like the soup his mother used to make before money became tight. "How?" "You asked too many questions," the old woman interrupted calmly. Ethan stopped talking. Something about her felt wrong. Not dangerous. Just impossible. Minutes passed. Then Ethan noticed something strange on the wall beside the staircase. A photograph. His photograph. His heart nearly stopped. It showed him standing outside his school, wearing clothes he owned last year. "How did you get that?" he whispered. The woman looked at the picture. "Oh, that." She smiled faintly. "You were always meant to come here." Ethan stood up immediately. "What is this place?" The fire crackled louder. The old woman slowly walked toward the staircase. "You should leave now," she said. "What?" "Before midnight." Ethan's breathing became heavy. "What happens at midnight?" The woman didn't answer. Instead, she climbed upstairs and disappeared into darkness. Ethan stared at the clock above the fireplace. 11:17 p.m. Outside, the storm had become violent. But something inside the house felt even worse. Then, thump. A loud noise came from upstairs. Ethan jumped. Another thump followed, like something heavy dragging across the floor. He should have left. Every instinct screamed at him to run. But curiosity pulled him forward. Slowly he climbed the stairs. The hallway upstairs was dark except for one dim light under a half-open door. And behind it, someone was whispering. Ethan's pulse pounded in his ears. He stepped closer. The whispering became clearer. Multiple voices. Men, women, children, all speaking at once. He pushed the door open and nearly screamed. The room was filled with hundreds of candles, and every wall was covered with more photographs. Thousands of them. But that wasn't the terrifying part. The terrifying part was that every single photograph had today's date written on the back, including his. Ethan stumbled backward. What the hell is this? The whispering stopped instantly. Then the old woman appeared behind him. You weren't supposed to see this. Ethan turned around. Who are you? For the first time the woman looked sad. Someone trying to save people. Lightning flashed outside. And suddenly Ethan noticed something horrifying. The old woman's shadow didn't match her body. The shape was moving differently, almost like another person stood behind her. Ethan backed away slowly. No. The woman looked directly into his eyes. Listen carefully. At midnight, something comes for this town. Ethan shook his head. You're crazy. I wish I was. The clocks downstairs suddenly began ringing together. 11:58 p.m. The woman grabbed Ethan's arm hard. You need to leave now. But before Ethan could move, every candle in the room went out. Darkness swallowed the house. And then came the sound. A deep, slow breathing noise. Not human. Somewhere downstairs. Ethan's entire body froze. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hallway below. Boom, boom, boom. The old woman whispered. Don't let it see you. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then, crack. The bedroom door downstairs shattered open. Ethan could hear furniture breaking. Glass exploding. Something monstrous was inside the house. And it was searching. The old woman looked terrified now. Not fake terrified. Real terrified. She pushed Ethan toward the window. Go. What about you? It only wants me. The footsteps started climbing the stairs. Slow. Heavy. Closer. Closer. Ethan looked toward the hallway and saw a giant shadow stretching across the floor. Too tall to be human. Its fingers were unnaturally long. The air suddenly smelled rotten. Ethan panicked. What is that thing? The old woman's eyes filled with tears. My son. The footsteps stopped outside the room. Then came a low growl. Ethan's blood turned cold. The woman whispered. 30 years ago he died during a blizzard. Her voice trembled. But I couldn't let him go. The door slowly bent inward. Wood cracked violently. So I brought him back. Boom. The door shook again. But something else came back with him. The growling deepened. Ethan backed toward the window in horror. The old woman smiled sadly. I've been feeding it my memories ever since. What? That's why I keep the photographs. Another slam nearly ripped the door off its hinges. At midnight it comes to take more. Ethan realized the horrible truth. The creature wasn't haunting the house. The woman was trapping it there. Saving the town. For 30 years. The door exploded open. A massive dark figure crawled into the room. Its glowing white eyes locked onto Ethan instantly. The creature screamed. A sound so horrible it felt like knives inside his skull. The old woman stepped in front of Ethan. No! The monster lunged. Candles burst into flames again. The room shook violently. And the old woman whispered something Ethan couldn't understand. Suddenly, every photograph in the room caught fire. Thousands of faces burned at once. The creature let out a deafening roar. Then everything went white. Ethan woke up outside in the snow the next morning. Police cars surrounded house number 47. Or what was left of it. The entire house had burned to the ground overnight. But investigators found something strange in the ashes. Thousands of photographs. Completely untouched by fire. And every single one had names written on the back. Names of missing people from nearby towns over the last 30 years. But one photograph was missing. The old woman's. No body was ever found. No records of her existence either. Almost like she had never lived there at all. 3 weeks later, Ethan returned to Willow Creek Road one last time. Only ashes remained. But as he turned to leave, he noticed something nailed to a tree beside the road. A photograph. His photograph. And written on the back were 5 chilling words. Now it waits for you.